Gentlemen, it's time to remove the masks. And I'm not talking about these masks, the ones that we have to wear because it's Corona lockdown. I'm talking about the masks that we wear every day. So what I want to talk about is the masks that we wear every day. Now we all wear them. And we probably wear multiple masks throughout the day. We wear them for different occasions, different groups of people that we're with. There might be groups of people that we're like our friends, our work colleagues, our family. Now we wear different types of masks depending on which group we're with. I'm not too sure about you. A lot of these masks are unconscious. So we don't actually walk in and go, okay, well, I'm with my family today, so I need to put this mask on. It's about different social settings, where it's going to be work, with colleagues, or with socializing with friends, that we tend to be a different version of ourselves. Now, is this a bad thing or is this a good thing? Well, look, I'm not too sure either way, but I think it is sometimes a necessary thing. Because with our friends, we seem to be a little bit more let our guards down. We seem to be able to relax and enjoy who we are, but also allow our friends to appreciate who we are ourselves as well. But I still think there's parts of ourselves that we don't always share with our friends. And I know with our families, it can be a little bit complicated sometimes. Families can be a little bit that way. There's some things that we don't share with family, some things that we do share with family. And this also, I feel there's a lot of expectations when it comes to the way that we behave in family settings. And that can be, just a mishmash of the things that we've grown up with, as we, the rules and the culture and belief system that our parents have put into our families, but also then how much of that we carry on into our own families that we build and as we build our own families. Sometimes we can be just a little bit more reserved. We don't always speak our mind because we don't want to always upset our mother or our father, brothers and sisters. We want to keep the peace. Some people don't really care about keeping the peace, they just let it all out. But for some people, they take that really seriously, and some people feel that they really need to not be themselves and allow what they really feel or what they really want. They don't feel like they can say or even ask for what they really want because it may upset someone in the family. And this is just a version of a mask that we wear. And then when that situation is finished, we go home and we relax, and we can be quite upset with ourselves or with other people because we feel that we can't be ourselves. And our work is another place as well. At work, we have work politics, we have different value sets, so it's a whole group of people coming together. We have organisational values and behaviours that we need to abide by, and they may not always necessarily align with our personal belief system as well. And there's, I can remember a conversation I had with someone at work once where they were dead set serious that, you cannot have fun at work. Now, for someone like myself, I like to have fun at pretty much in everything I do. Like, I wouldn't be making these videos if I didn't find them enjoyable and I didn't find them fun to do as well. But this guy was, he was getting angry that I thought that you could have fun at work. He was so dead set against it. So work is a place that has to be serious. Work is a place that's results focused. Work is a place where, people don't laugh and have jovial activities going on around the place. You go to work and it's serious from the moment you log on to the moment you log off. So, these masks that people wear are just extreme sometimes, but also it keeps a part of us shielded from either being hurt or just being exposed and being vulnerable. Many of these masks are really around social etiquette. So what is appropriate in certain situations? Now, some people call that playing the game. Some people call it just being polite and courteous. And for others, it's just about being respectful. And I think there's a certain element of our mask wearing that is about being respectful to people. Now, we don't need to agree with everybody. And look, I know personally I don't agree with everybody all the time. Once upon a time I may have, because I didn't want to upset anyone's feelings. But that's just a different mask again. But you can also, you don't need to agree with someone to respect them as a human. You don't need to agree with them to respect the fact that they have a different value or a different point of view. Doesn't mean say you have to agree with it. Doesn't mean say you have to go along with it. But at some point, we want others to respect that we have an opinion. We also want people to respect that we have a point of view. And if you want to have a voice, if we want to have a voice, then we need to allow other people to have a voice and have their opinion as well. So this is where I think that social etiquette comes into play. We don't need to be making our point all the time. And this is, again, just a different level or different version of wearing a mask. Now, some use them for effects. So, I think the classic superhero, they always wear a mask. So to hide their true identity, so they can get something done. Artists, I think, can fall into this space as well. Because there are some artists that, while on stage, they come across as being really gregarious and really outgoing and really dynamic. Behind the scenes, they can be really quiet. They can be really strong introverts. And they just need that space to come back to recover from this mask that they wear somewhere else. So while some people wear masks for effect, I think there's also another side to us. Well, there is actually another side to us, which is the shadow side. Sometimes we conform to fit in, even though it's not necessarily within our morals or our value set. A good example of this is with men particularly, or guys who are growing up. They pretend to be tough, they pretend to be the strong, macho man, when actually inside they're probably just a big softie, and they just really want to sit down and have a real meaningful conversation, but they don't know how to do that, especially in a group of men. The darker side to that is where men start to treat other people poorly. They become bullies, they harass, they abuse, and particularly when men do that against women, whether it be in their relationships or just in general, because it can happen at the workplace as much as it can at home behind closed doors. And look, I do know of people that have been like that. They've been this dark, evil monster behind closed doors. Then Sunday they're at church. And that is a classic example of these masks that people wear to hide their true identity, but also hide that dark side. Now, people need to get honest with themselves and really look in that mirror and see who they are. Are they going to be this beacon of light, or are they going to be this dark person? And I think the better we understand ourselves, the better we can start to see through some of the masks that are going on. And I think that's always a challenge that we can have as men, as humans, is to get to know ourselves better and understand ourselves better, so we can get to see through the mask and bring those masks that we do wear into conscious awareness. Because that's half the challenge, is bringing that into conscious awareness, knowing what masks we are wearing, when we are wearing them. But it helps us to see through the masks that others are wearing too. So to bring out some of those people that are actually using masks to hide in the shadows and to hide their dark side, that's just actually doing damage to a lot of people out there. Now, I think if you're not being honest with yourself about the masks that you wear, then you're not being congruent with yourself. Some of these masks admittedly operate on an unconscious level, and we're not really haven't brought them into our conscious awareness to dig into the detail of them. But the more you can do that, the better you can do that, the more honest you can be with yourself and more congruent you can be. I do believe that we can wear these masks and still remain congruent to who we are. Our workplaces do have values. We make a choice to go to those workplaces. We don't necessarily always have to agree with some of the things that occur in the workplace, especially when you start talking about work politics, but you can be true to yourself within that space as well. Even if you are wearing a mask and not hiding, I guess, and keeping a part of you separate to work. Because I know, like for me personally, I don't talk about everything that I do personally when I'm at work, because I think there are different spaces. I have certain boundaries, that there's certain things I will talk about when I'm at work, and there's certain things I'll talk about in my friend group. But also the nature of my work, there's certain things that I don't talk about in my friend group about what I do at work. But that whole question about being congruent and wearing masks is about how honest you want to be with yourself. How well do you get to know yourself? How true to yourself are you going to be even when wearing a mask? I think if you're wearing masks to deceive someone, then there's probably not a level of congruency in there. If you're wearing a mask to gain an advantage over someone, then you're probably not being congruent. Or maybe you are being congruent, maybe you're just congruent with your dark side. We do have dark and light, so maybe there's still a level of congruence even if you are being congruent with your dark side. But if you want to be a better man, a better person, and be a beacon of light and a vessel of light, a vessel that brings love into your area, like your family, your workspace, your community, then you won't be using these masks for advantage to gain something that is about you. It's about increasing and improving your community, your family. I think at the end of it though, you need to call it by its real name. So one of my mentors has always said in the change space, if you want change to happen, you need to call it by its real name. So you need to call it out. You need to call yourself out. When you look in the mirror, be brutally honest with yourself, know yourself. And I think the worst mask that you can ever wear is the one that is deceiving you. That mask that you wear telling yourself that you're something that you're not. So for that change to happen, you need to understand who you are. So I always say, get to know yourself. Call your behavior by its real name. Dig deep into those triggers, the motivators, the things that spark an interest for you, the things that get you angry, the things that get you excited, and understand the rules that those unconscious rules that you're weaving together to make this tapestry that is your life. Because if you need to wear a mask to hide yourself from yourself, then you're living a lie. You're lying to yourself. Being still and doing nothing are completely different things. Because while you're being still, being introspective, understanding who you are, you're definitely not doing nothing. You're searching your soul, you're searching who you are. And this is the beauty of understanding the masks that we wear. Be true to yourself. But you can only be true to yourself when you really know who you are. Thanks again. I'm out.